Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Blue Archive reaction. Today we have Trigger for Ambition and Kitsunebbi, both highly requested songs on the last video through the comment by DJ Wizzle, which is a name that will sit with me forever and always make me laugh inside, even if I'm not laughing outside. So I guess without further ado, let's hear what these have to do with each other and, in general, experience them. That was a really weird transition, but let's go. Ooh. Dark. All right. Ooh. That's an odd time signature. All right. Honestly, did not expect an odd time signature on a Blue Archive song. I don't think I've ever experienced that before. All right, KARUT. See, this is standard, so I don't know if it was just that one spot, but that threw me off for a second there. Ooh. Oh, that's muddy. I'm trying to break down what he's doing there to get that sound. That was just another all sound design kind of song, wasn't it? Huh. So that one was kind of giving PlayStation 2 Infiltration title. I don't know what exactly was doing that. I think it was the guitar being so extremely heavily distorted. It was very heavy in the mids and made the whole sound very muddy. Like I said, it was just a lot of tone. It sounded like one consistent note, even though you could tell as well that there was like a guitar string being strummed like really quick in there. It was just constant, and the distortion kind of blended those together to make it sound more like one note rather than a bunch. I mean, of course, they had a lot of the sound design elements like I mentioned. There was a lot of that, which there always has been a lot of that in these Blue Archive songs. Like, I think there's more of that. Like, I'm recognizing more of it with more songs I listen to. Maybe it's just because they're from similar times in the game, and I'm just getting requested a bunch of them that are like that or from a section that does a lot of that. But I'm noticing it more. And I think what's nice about that is that it's not even just sound design elements. It's not like stock sound effects and such. It's use of filters and passes in the instruments and phasers, and like, yeah, there's a little bit of synth thrown in there, but then they're just playing around with what the synth is by changing its fundamentals so it doesn't sound just like a standard synth anymore, which you could argue is what most sound design is, truly, but I like how this is being done in such a melodically structured sense. It's not just throwing sounds in there. I feel like it's adding to the atmosphere and the ambience by having those same instruments be drugged through all those processes to get them to sound like that. It adds a sort of organic crunch to everything around it instead of it just being random bits and pieces tossed into a blender. There's a little bit more functionality to this, as well as there is creativity to it. But I think that the sound design being so organic in its feel is assisting the rest of the song. Of course, they're using them a lot as transitional points, and that's pretty common for this sound design flair that people throw into tracks like this. It's just a commonplace thing to do. It's a useful tool, and it helps adjust your ear to a different sound that is the transitional spot. So it's there's a lot of no shit to this, I suppose. It's always a matter of application. It doesn't matter if something is commonplace or used a bunch or overused a bunch. It's just how well it's done. Like, especially that last one, kind of having that like reverse-esque sound effect really helped me go like, oh, so we're either ending or we're going to be moving to another spot. It could also be a point where you could rotate back to the beginning of the song and just do a full rewind. It could work in that way. It could not. It really just depends on what the goal of the song is in the scene that it's being used for. But I'm getting very off topic with that, so I think I'll stop talking about this song here and move on to Kitsunebbi. So let's go do that. That's a different vibe already. All right. Starting off halftime. I'm really curious to see where this one ends up. Ooh. I thought it was going to do that twice earlier. Ooh. Ooh, all right. Let the dubstep demons loose. Okay. Whew. This is a great use of that dubstep screech synth. Sometimes you can do way too much with that. You can overuse it. That was very tasteful. Now I know that rhythm. That was an interesting blend of sound. I like that. I think I've always had a bias for the electronic slash dubstep slash metal combination. It's just, it plays to a lot of my personal biases in music. I was a dubstep kid. I was an electronic music listener when I was in late high school years especially, and even early high school and even before that. So it's got a special place for me. And of course, metal was there as well through all that. So when you blend these two together, I'm like, yeah. But I like the way that this one blended. At first, I couldn't tell that it was going to do that. I thought it was just using the synths as overall support in the structure, which is pretty common nowadays. A lot of metal songs will use subtle synths to kind of hold the extra space under a song together if there's really nothing else taking up that space. Just as an atmosphere, you know, it's just a little bit of a feature rather than being a predominant part in the song's mix. But then it did the whole like dubstep screech breakdown, which, like I said, is a very easy thing to overdo. You can put in way too much of that dubstep screech, which is why a lot of people don't like the genre of dubstep, and why people, whenever they hear that sound, they think, oh, ew, Skrillex. But it's like, it's there. It can be used well. It can be used extraordinarily effectively and subtly like this. That might have been a little bit strong. I might have even made it slightly less, like even softer on there. I don't know if I would have kept it quite as loud as it was, but even then it was still pretty soft underneath it. It's just a matter of how you utilize it like that. I think that was pretty well done. The fact that they used it and used it not as a predominant scream above everything else and kind of getting into the ears and being more of a nuisance, because a lot of ears are sensitive to that sound, even my own. So it's definitely one of those things that you don't want to overuse, but you can if you really like the sound of it. And it takes skill to not want to crank that a little bit too much. I think that was very well done. I think KARUT did a fantastic job there. And as far as the specifically metal aspect of this song goes, with like the chugs in there, those are so universal. You can use them for anything, anywhere, and really any genre. That din it, like those are so flexible. You can slam them in anything, especially if you pair it with a halftime on the drums. There's just a lot of weight to that. It just kind of pulls you in and out. That's kind of where like the headbang comes from. You get that rhythm going, and that is something that even if you're not a huge metal person, you can feel that force kind of wanting to take over you. You know, you start like bobbing your head, any of that, you know. But I think KARUT did a great job with both of these songs. I think Kitsunebbi definitely peaks it for me. I like that one the most out of these two. And I know there's a lot more I need to listen to. I literally, while listening to one of these, looked up and saw 143 was that a cat I saw, and I have seen that comment so many times, but it's always beaten out by other likes, like in ratios, so I never get to it. So I'm sure I will. That might even be the next video. But if you like this one and you want to see me talk about those songs, leave a comment down below with what I should listen to. If it should be the cat one, say so. Actually make it the top comment for once, and I'll get to it, I promise. But otherwise, if you like this video and you want to just follow me and support me and keep up with everything, you know how to do all that, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye!